I think the first thing before we get into obviously like the X's and O's and questions about the game is I think that the thing that stood out to me was just the grit that was required by our team. This was not an easy week for a lot of different reasons. Um, Obviously Jay went down on Friday night. Um, we didn't play as well as we would have liked to have played on Friday night against a really, really good team. We learned a lot. I don't even know if these guys, you left the hotel, Matt? You've been here the entire time. Um, so it required some toughness mentally, on those guys' part. I thought the thing that I learned the most tonight, you can throw the X's and O's out the window and all that, and box scores. And what I found out is what I knew about our group the whole time, that we have some character in our locker room. We have some grit in our locker room. We have a little bit of fight in our locker room. And that was the thing that I took away from it the most. I was really proud of them. I thought, in my time at Illinois, it's maybe Tup and I were walking down the ramp there. Maybe one of the I can't think about all of them right now. I'm just thinking about this one, but one of the top 5 in my mind, kind of gutsy performances by our team. And guys had to step up and make plays. Obviously, we did not lead for the majority of the game. There's a lot of things, whether it's a 3 being banked in, or the one that trickled in the first half after it hit the rim 4 or 5 times, or they could have, if they wanted to, they could have folded and they didn't do it. And that's because of the character we have in there. We have a bunch of fighters. We got grit. So that's more important than anything to me, and what I'm most proud about. In terms of the game, obviously our front court was terrific. 40 points on 17 for 27 shooting and 18 rebounds, of which these 2 guys up here are a part of that with Finke and Black. Obviously Fink also had 3 assists, 0 turns. LaRon 1 assist, 0 turns. We got good taking care of the ball from those guys that play up there as well. I just thought they really impacted the game at a really, really high level. I thought our man defense in the second half finally got going to what we were accustomed to. I thought that LaRon Black playing tonight gave us a huge lift emotionally. It gave us a huge lift with our toughness and our grit. He brings that to the table. I thought that was big. I thought Alex Austin's defense was a game changer. I thought he was terrific defensively, probably defended on the perimeter about as well as anyone we had out there consistently, and I thought his minutes were extremely valuable. Bo's leadership I thought was terrific. Bo pointed that out after the game. Things didn't go necessarily from an efficiency standpoint well for Malcolm in Friday night's game or today, of what we're certainly accustomed to, and we'll see. He's too good a player. I mean, he'll be fine there. But I think the biggest thing, what you saw tonight, was him trying to lead and keep guys together, even though things weren't going great for him. I thought that was huge for our team as well. So, those are some of my post-game thoughts off the cuff. That's kind of how I feel about it. Obviously, we'll watch the film just like we did Friday night, see how we can get better. We realize we have another big week ahead. But we learned a lot this weekend playing 2 really good, very old basketball teams. And so we're looking forward to checking out the film, see what we can learn, see if we can be a little bit better this week. Questions for the players?
Maverick, what's been the difference for you these first couple games of the season?
I would just say what's done in the off season is kind of year to year. You can see improvements or lack thereof. I think we've just been working as a team, especially to get better. And I've been working the same with them. I think just feel a lot more comfortable out there. I think everybody is come a year older, kind of fall in their place a little bit more.
What was the difference between Friday and today, and also just what you guys as a team spend your time talking about? And like you personally, you said you were kind of bunkered down in your hotel. What were your thoughts kind of from Friday till today about approaching this game?
We obviously, you guys know, didn't play very good defense Friday. When the team went 17 threes on you, some of them were a little ridiculous, like Coach was saying, the one banked in tonight or one that trickled in. That stuff happens, but giving up 17 of them isn't something that we think's okay or we try to do. And I think we just went into it with a different mindset tonight of like we have to guard, just kind of got our identity back more on defensive end.
When you're directing from the center position on defense, do you see a significant drop off between man and zone? I think the team's better at one right now than the other.
I wouldn't say that. I would say more of like you're talking like we call it the air traffic control. Like that would be like me or Big Mike in the zone. Like we're the back guy, we see everything,
Right.
calling out corners, cutters. I would say we have a more significant role as far as talking in zone as we do in man. And man, it just kind of changes. Like we're still talking, but it's more about someone cutting back door, ball screen coverages. As far as what are we better at, I think across the years we're more of a man team, obviously, but tonight that was working for us. I think it helped us with the dribble weave. But I mean, most of the time I would say the coach says, man-to-man's our bread and butter.
Mike, a couple weeks ago, you kind of alluded to the fact that at Charlotte you didn't get the ball this much. You've been getting it a lot these past couple games. How are you feeling after these first couple games? You got energy? You tired? How are you feeling physically?
I think it's good, but it could be better. I feel like as the season goes on, I feel like I can get myself in even better shape than I am right now. Because I think maybe once or twice a game I might hit a wall, every now and then. So I think I can improve on that and continuing to work with our strength and conditioning coach Flex, and making sure I'm putting the right foods in my bodies and my nutrition is good, so I'll be able to be well energized going into games.
What did it feel like to walk off the court there at the end and get that standing ovation from the fans when you checked out for the last time and you guys were about to win?
Well, obviously it's always just great just to win. No matter what. I had 2 points, 15. I just want to win. Like mostly, I've never experienced the NCAA tournament, so my main goal is just to win. That's it. And I was just happy that I knew we were going to win the game when I came out with about probably 21 seconds. Just to know we won that.
Did you envision such a strong start for yourself personally, and just how gratifying is it, after transferring from somewhere new to start so strong?
I just go out there every game and just try to play as hard as I can play. I never really get too caught up in doing this now, doing that now, because it's a long season. It's a lot of players that start seasons off strong and then they fall off by the middle end of the season. I just think right now I need to, instead of focusing on maybe having a good game, I need to focus on how I can get better defensively. Right now, it's a lot of things that I'm still lacking, and I'm going to watch a lot of film with coaches and try to get better.
After Friday, how did it feel to get out there on only 2 days rather than letting it sit and letting Friday kind of sink in? You guys got out there and got to redeem yourself today.
It felt good to get out there and play. I mean, obviously, I believe we were down by 12 to 13 points, and I was just proud of the fact that we didn't give up. And it was a group in there with Mav, I believe, either Finky or LeBron, Malcolm. Alex Austin played extremely well defensively, and I just felt like that group, I think it was Jalen Coleman-Lands also, that group right there just played extraordinary defense and got us back in the game. So when I saw that, it's always good when you got a team that's not going to quit and never give up, because we could have easily said, just like Friday again, let's just lay down like a dead fish and give up. But those guys didn't, and obviously I came in and made a few plays. And I was just proud of the fact that I know I got a team that's going to fight.
The team can walk over. I don't think you have to go outside from the hotel to get here. Yesterday, did you leave the premises at all?
I went across the street, got a coffee at
Starbucks.
Good morning yesterday,
coffee
but,
like me.
other than that, honestly, no.
Mike, what about you?
I've just been in the room. I'm going to be happy to leave here just to get some fresh air and see what it feels like. I don't know if it's cold or hot.
Maybe I can get him a movie next weekend when we come back over or something. I got to change it up a little bit.
Did you study? Did you just watch tape? What did you do? What's that?
They had study table, right, fellas?
Yeah.
You didn't watch TV or after that?
Watching TV, being with my brothers all day long, like Coach said, told me yesterday, you're going to see if y'all really like each other. Been together all since Thursday night. So, but it's been a good experience.
John,
Anything else for these two?
Matt, what have you learned from Mike's games as he got here, especially in the offensive end, and vice versa? What did you guys learn from each other?
I would say, honestly, I feel this way. I think I speak for probably all three of us. I don't think either of us two would be probably sitting here right now if we haven't been, going at each other all off season. I mean, Charlotte's obviously different than the Big Ten, and he's changed so much over like the course of him just being in the few months he has. Like I would say, like he's gotten so much better, and I think us just playing against each other. I mean, you don't get better playing against nobodies. I think we're both like pretty big body guys, and I think that we've learned a ton from him. I've learned a lot from him offensively.
Same was for you.
I think I say the best thing about Mav, obviously he pushes me in practice. You know, it's days where he has better days, and there's days in practice where I have better days. But one thing I point out, he's always trying to help me because, like I said, it's things that I might not be as advanced as other guys, and especially on the defensive end, ball screen, he's always a guy on the sidelines. Even today in the game, he's pulling me to the side, always talking to me. And from a guy that plays the same position as you, that's rare. So he's a really great teammate. So I'm gonna say that he has a great aspect about him in that way. So I would just say that, and he's making me better just by the knowledge he's giving me of the game. He has a great knowledge and feel for the game.
All right, we'll let these two go.
Goes. Everybody notice Mav's house slippers?
Totally.
Wow.
John, you talk frequently about getting punched in the mouth. Was
Yeah.
that what they pretty much did to you?
Oh, no
pretty
question.
much first half into the start of the second half?
No question. Yeah, no question. They led for 30-some minutes in the game. Obviously had a great win on Friday night as well on the road against a team that was predicted to be first in that league, and they won on the road. Made some big plays. You could tell they had some guts to them, which is not surprising. I mean, they played. I don't know how many freshmen on their team played tonight. I don't know if they play any. I mean, they're older, just like the team on Friday night. I mean, I guess I can't emphasize again how challenging the weekend was for an opening weekend. I mentioned the other day we're the only team in college basketball to play 3 teams to open the season that played in last year's NCAA tournament. We knew it was going to be challenging, and you get to learn that way. But there's no question they punched us in the mouth. I mean, they had, I think Miller and Jacobson, those 2 guys are really good, really good. Miller makes tough shots. He had it going obviously in the first half. We finally settled in a little bit defensively there with the zone in the first half. Our man was good for us in the second half. But yeah, I thought the guys got better. I mean, we were in the hotel, but they spent, a lot of time watching the film. We really dissected the film, and we had to, tell the truth to some guys. They didn't guard quite as well. And then, Abrams and Nunn and those guys, they did a great job they grabbed the younger guys. They grabbed them and got with, like she was mentioning, we can just walk to the court, so it's available to us like it would be at home. And they took those guys in there last night, someone told me, and they were in there this morning too before shoot around. And that's Tracy's, he didn't have to do that, he's not even playing. But that's the care those guys have for each other and how much they care about what we're doing. And I thought that our rookies made less mistakes tonight defensively than they did on Friday night. Right now it's kind of baptism by fire for those guys based on where we're at right now with our roster. If you look back at how many minutes Abrams played as a freshman at this juncture in his career. Hill, Nunn, Finke was redshirt, Black, those guys are good players. So we're just kind of throwing those 3 guys out there right now and rolling, and all of a sudden it's like, the teams we played this weekend can take advantage of their mistakes. But I also think that's how you learn. Commend those 3 guys as well, though. Sometimes they wouldn't want to, 3 young guys might think they have all the answers. But they want to get with Kendrick, and they want to get with Tracy, and they want to listen to what they have to say. And, again, that just speaks of the character and the care those guys have for competing and playing for each other. And I thought we made a few mistakes, especially in the first half, with some gaps and different things like we did on Friday night. But they were better. They made improvement. And I thought that was really important. But give our captains a lot of credit for helping those younger guys.
John, obviously, there's no secret the misfortune you guys have had these past couple months with injuries and so forth. And if you look back a year and a half, you've got a guy who decides he's a starter at one program, a scholarship player. He wants to come to your program as a walk-on, and he's in starting lineup for you today. Where would you be without Alex Austin?
Sure. I mean, Alex he plays his role so well. He doesn't try to do things that get you beat. He understands what he's been asked to do, and he takes pride in doing those 3 things well. He's gotten better. He's really improved. He's a smart player, and he's a really good defender. I mean, really good. And obviously tonight we needed that to get some stops to get back in the game. And I thought defensively he made an impact on the game, and in that way he's made an impact on our team.
Jalen coming off the bench with 15, 4 steals, he hit a couple threes and kind of mount the comeback. Is that a role you kind of?
I thought he played really hard. He took a charge. He dove on the loose ball. He had 4 steals. He was active. His feet were active. His hands were active. He competes. He doesn't know what he's doing yet. You know, I mean, you got to remember, guys, the guy's been practicing for 10 days. He's smart, but it's hard to pick up stuff in 10 days of practice. You know, and I think, you know, obviously last weekend he shot it well, and one of my biggest fears was everybody was going to reincarnate him as the next Steph Curry. You know, and, you know, he got introduced to defending in college basketball a little bit on Friday night. But he responded. That's what I liked about him. And I knew he would. He's competitive. He's tough. He's got grit. He's not afraid to make plays. He's going to be special. But give him a little bit of time. You know, it's hard to figure it out in 10 days. He didn't get to practice for Europe. He didn't get to play in the European games. He didn't do anything in the fall. And he did very little in the preseason. Okay, so we just kind of threw him out there and, you know, over the last week to 10 days. And I think he's picking things up very quickly, but I think we're going to see even brighter things and more consistency from him moving forward once he gets better habits and he gets more repetition. You know, my old high school coach, Todd Licklider, used to say that repetition builds mastery. You know, he's got a few things to master at this point, and he will.
Is this whole injury ordeal kind of a lesson in patience for you, or is the season such that you can't have patience?
You know, Shannon, it's interesting. I've tried to lock in on what I can control. I will tell you that last year has helped prepare me a little bit for what we're going through right now. I think experience is a great teacher. And, you know, I thought last year we had kind of an absurd amount. And this year it's kind of been the same thing back to back. I don't really know why. Some of them have been odd. Like even the one Friday night, like that was just odd. You know, like, but things happen for a reason. I try to tell the players that, you know, we wouldn't be given anything that we can't handle. Otherwise it wouldn't be given to us. And, you know, we've got to have broad shoulders, and we've got to try to stand up and fight. And next man up. And for the most part, the guys have done that.
Speaking of injuries, LeBron looked like he ran really well tonight. Looked like he was having some fun too. Even led a break and found Alex Austin for a nice and one. What did you see out of LeBron tonight?
Just his emotion, his toughness. He has grit. He's, you know, him and Nunn they just have a special. It's hard to put your finger on it. Like you're playing with them, you think you can run through every wall in here and knock it down. They just have that, like, they've got that toughness about them. They bring that to our team. And just to have one of those two guys back tonight was huge. I thought he gave us an emotional lift. You know, obviously he's healed, or we wouldn't put him out there. We'd never put him in harm's way, you know. And he started to get a little bit of soreness leading into Friday night. And then Paul did such a great job with him here. And we got you know, that down. He felt pretty good yesterday. I didn't know if he was going to be able to go really until right before the tip, to be honest. You know, how did he do in pregame stuff? And if he was going to be okay and it didn't bother him, then we were going to roll. And he was ready to go. I think part of that is obviously he wants to play, and I think he felt like probably, you know, Tate went down Friday night, like we could use another body out there, and you know, he cares about his teammates. And you know, obviously we'd never put him out there if it wasn't the right thing to do, but part of that's just him kind of getting to that point where he feels comfortable to play, and tonight he made a huge impact.
What's the update on Tate, John?
I don't know how long he's going to be out. He's out indefinitely right now. It is the pinky finger on his right hand. As I said in my statement, it was an open dislocation. You know, kind of an odd injury. But he went back to Champaign. They made sure, you got to make sure that it's clean, because you don't want infection to take place in there, not just as a basketball player, but long term for his health. And Doc Johnson and Doc Gertler got on that right away, did a good job, and now it's sewed back up, and we're going to move forward. And I don't know how long he'll be out. They'll let me know.
Coach, Malcolm Thorne today, how much do you attribute that to him adjusting to a new role at point guard?
You know, I'm hard on that kid, I am, I mean, because I think he's special and he's great. But to be honest with you, like, I'm asking him right now to be the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. You know, I mean, be a captain, be efficient scoring. If you don't mind, could you play 4 positions tonight? Guard the other team's best player on most of the possessions. Need you to give great effort in rebounding, push the ball on offense, be the first guy back on defense to stop their break, and go buy everybody popcorn while you're at it. I mean, but he can handle it. He's got broad shoulders, and he cares about winning. He wants to win. He's gotten to that point in his career as an individual player where he wants to win, and anything we give him, he just kind of rolls with it right now. I mean, you know, he's played between Europe and now with all the injuries and how dynamic our lineups played. He's played every position on offense but 5, and he's defended every position on defense. That's, I mean, unheard of. I hope people appreciate that because that's, you know, part of it's he's smart. So if he couldn't grasp all that, but at some point you start to say, like, are you robbing Peter to pay Paul? Has he got too much on his mind? You know, because we're giving him an awful lot. I'm hoping here as we move forward, we'll be able to get his role a little bit more defined and not ask him to be the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker all at once.
Coach said that he felt you guys had pretty much a little bit of your backs against the wall in the second half. How important was it to avoid an 0-2 start?
Well, I don't know about the 0-2 start, but I thought the grit was tremendous. I thought a big turning point in the game was the timeout we took where Abrams led the timeout. I thought that was huge. You know, he just kind of grabbed my leg and said, I got this. And, you know, he challenged them, let's put it that way.
When was that?
That was in the second half, early second half.
So just from what you said earlier, that was unbeknownst to you that Nunn and Abrams brought guys over here?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they did that on their own.
That speaks to, I guess, you were saying their leadership.
Yeah, their leadership, how much they care about the team, how much they want to win. We've got good guys. I know sometimes people say that and it becomes cliche. I keep saying the whole time about our team when I share it with people, character and versatility. Obviously, we just talked about Hill's versatility, but some other guys have had to play multiple positions as well. Sometimes that allows a Shan to play big or small or, you know, give you different looks, and I think maybe we'll see. I mean, maybe that'll bode well for us moving forward and make us a little bit, you know, more difficult to play, I hope.
Did you expect to get this from Maverick at this point in the season?
I thought he had practiced really well last week, Marcus. I think he's getting better. He's improving. He seems to be in a good place mentally right now. But, you know, obviously, if you'd have told me 10 and 5, 5 for 7, I think he's, what is it, DB 8 for something, 8 for 11, or something to start the season. Is that what he is? Or 8 for 10. Yeah, but he's been very efficient. I think, if anything, he's also been a great, he used the term air traffic controller, great communicator defensively. You know, we were playing him on certain defensive situations tonight, using his experience, and I thought that he was really good in those situations.
I was thinking about the game in Columbus in 2006, the Illini game, where Jamar Butler, I don't know if you remember it, he just went off and hit a million threes, and it was over in the first 15 minutes. And I was kind of thinking about that tonight, seeing the two.
After going through Friday night where they made
And
17.
and then you got 5 guys from NDSU that made a 3.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering, what can you do if the long bomb just keeps dropping? What can you do defensively?
Mav said it. There's some of them, you know, you just, like Kid Banks won tonight, the one, you know, bounces on the rim 4 times and falls in the first half. A couple times they run good offense, put you in a tough spot. You can handle some of those, but the ones where we make mistakes are the ones we're trying to clean up. You know, I don't know how many times in my career on Friday night we had a kid attempt 8 and make 7.
Yeah.
I mean, that's extraordinary. I don't know how many times it's happened in my 20-plus years where guys attempted 8 or more, missed only 1. That's a lot. That's, you know, obviously a special night. He's a terrific player, Kid Beach. But we've got to be better there. I thought we were better in the second half defending it.
First official road game Wednesday.
Yeah.
Going to be a bigger test than these first 2 hours.
Sure. Yeah, they're good. The staff will give me the folder on the bus on the way back, and I'll start to dive into them. I've got a lot of respect for Ed Cooley. He's a good coach and, you know, just a great great guy. They do a good job. I know Chris Dunn, obviously, is a terrific player. I think he had a big night last night, they were telling me. Some people have him voted as the preseason National Player of the Year. They're good, and they play hard, they compete. You know, I've seen them play a time or two here or there, but in the past. But we'll start locking on them more when we get to campus.
Coach, when you think back to the spring when you're going after Big Mike to now, first line of center since Myers Leonard to have back-to-back 20 plus, how would you analyze what you knew where you were getting to kind of what you've seen so far?
Well, at that point, I was hoping we would get a guy who had a chip on his shoulder and really wanted to do this well. And as much as you get to know people in the recruiting process, especially in short recruitment processes, sometimes you don't know, but you have a gut feel. My instinct when I left this home was that this kid is not a good person, he is a great person. Like, wow, I love this family, I love this heart, I love his answers, I love how he treated people, and I thought, you know what, this guy cares. So he gets to campus, and now he's lost, whatever, 25 to 30 pounds, dropped his body fat 3 to 4%. Fletch has had a huge impact on him, nutritionally as well as strength and conditioning. He's worked like crazy on his left hand, finishing, become much better there, working like crazy on his free throws. He's working to learn the defense. He cares. And because he's done all those things, he's better. He just keeps getting better. Like I've said before, the only thing I wish is I wish I could coach him for more than 1 year. I love the kid. So do the guys in that locker room, and they really love him as a teammate. He's just a good guy. You know, he looks over at the scores table tonight and says, hey, you want to let Mav roll? He's playing well. I mean, guys say that. You know, he cares. He cares. I gave you a lot of stories here tonight about those guys caring. Okay? So that to me, that and the grit that our team had, I think is what stood out the most over the weekend, cumulatively speaking. Anything else? Thanks.
I'll email you tomorrow with the time for Tuesday's teleconference.